Muy bien, pues para toda la banda de 89.7 FM, como siempre, lo más top. Y tenemos aquí en cabina a mi querido Ian Asher, que está de visita justo para todo lo del EDC. Y bueno, aprovechando que anda en Tierra Azteca, pues estamos aquí justo platicando un poco con él. Ian, how are you? Welcome to Mexico.
I am doing good, man. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here. I'm sure because you're from Cali, it's not your first time in Mexico, but is it your first time in Mexico City?
It is not my first time, but it is my first time in Mexico City.
All right.
Yeah.
You've been in Mexico. What places of Mexico do you know? TJ, of course.
I've been to, TJ. And I've been to Punta Mita. So,
all right.
Yeah.
I know that place has grown so much, and Los Cabos, so much more than the south of Mexico, like Cancun or Puerto Vallarta.
One place that I really want to go to just for the music scene is Tulum.
All right.
Because I've heard there's so many like events going on there now, and you have so many amazing artists and amazing DJs, amazing, event companies that are really going in and doing it. I see all the videos and I'm just getting massive FOMO.
I know. Yeah, because you just want to be there. I mean, I have some, my ex-roomies used to go like every year to this
really?
BPM, to the BPM.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to go, and they said they would cry when the BPM was over because they would know that they would have to come back. They would cry at the end of festivals. But so you're here about the EDC. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is my very first international show.
Yeah, the first international show.
Man.
Okay.
And, oh my gosh, I really couldn't imagine a better venue to do it in because I've been wanting to play EDC my entire life. That was the biggest dance music festival around where I grew up. And so I've been watching videos of EDC sets and all the after movies and everything for years and years. So when I got the call, like, okay, you want to do EDC Mexico, I was like, oh my god!
How was that call? I mean, had you been pursuing that? Sending your sets or something like that. How's the way to get here?
It's less so about sending sets and more so just about me working on myself as an artist.
All right.
And, as a musician and with the songs that I'm putting out and making sure, that I'm putting my best foot forward on everything artistically. So really it all came full circle with my latest single, God on the Weekend.
All right.
And all the hype and craziness that's been around that, man.
Yeah.
That's my, debut single.
That's a debut single.
And the amount of support that, I've gotten on every single front, has been absolutely unbelievable. Thank you guys so much for streaming God on the Weekend. It's awesome.
It's real cool because I was listening to the song, but I was also looking at of course social media and the community, which is I think great because that's the community that was expecting for this single to come out. I mean, because they've been following you, like listening to what you were doing, and that it kind of like feels that people has come walked with you all this way.
Exactly, and that's exactly the way I've been approaching this because I've been making music my entire life, and it's always been my goal to artistically find what I wanted to do and find my own voice and my own productions and what I really want to put out in the world, and then to really do it. But the past couple of years, I was able to really dig in on the production side and everything, while at the same time building a community online, which is that in and of itself, the amount of support I've gotten has been, oh my gosh! I mean,
it's
unbelievable.
I know. It talks about this because you've been, of course, also like kind of like this generation of your generation. You've been self-made a lot. I mean, you've studied a lot, loads of things online, and it's like you're yourself like nurturing that artist side, and which is I think also amazing. Because I mean, how old are you? You're pretty young. You're like
I'm 22.
You're 20, right? So you're 20, and how
22.
long? 22, and you've started doing music since.
Oh man, since I was like 10, 11 years old. Yeah. It's just been forever.
Yeah. I mean, for you, I'm sure it feels like forever.
Well, it's just been like my thing throughout my teenage years. That was like,
all right.
It was like my, I compare it to almost like video games because it was just, of course it starts off as a hobby and something. And there was a point where I was like, damn, I'm pretty good at this.
I was going to ask you, when did you realize you were good at it?
Man, geez. When I first, there were a few records, like a few demos that I made when I was around like 16.
Okay.
And I was like, if I didn't make this, and if I heard it on the radio today, I would probably save this song.
Right.
And it was that moment I was like, okay, I should start sending this stuff out. And,
yeah.
You know, just start doing that.
Because I suppose friends are also like telling you, look, man, this thing's dope, right? I mean, this is really good.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's interesting, too, in California because especially like during that time, everything was rap music.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So I would show my friends who liked rap music and they wouldn't quite get it. But everyone that, was into electronic music, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is super sick.
And now I think that, but with now in electronic music, which I think it's really cool, is that it's so much. There's so many variants, of electronic music. Because before it was all like techno, in the 90s and all that stuff. I mean, but then it starts spreading to different roots, So now you have loads of electronic music. What do you like? What do you like to do most?
House music.
House music.
100%.
All right. But you like to listen to other things.
Oh, of course. I love all genres of music.
Right.
And so when I'm going in and I'm making house music, but I'm bringing in influences from everything that I listen to. Right. Whether or not I even realize it when I'm making it. That's sort of something I've just, sometimes I'll listen back to a production and be like, dang, that's...
I know.
That reminds me of this, record from way ago.
We were laughing so much because, all this thing that, he stole the songs. I mean, when we hear that, they stole the song from this guy and this guy. And we were talking about like, dude, of course they listen to the Beatles. I mean, of course they have this background on their head. So when they're doing music, I mean, it will come out if they listen to it. I mean, they didn't steal it or anything like that.
Right. As long as the melodies are different. Yeah. And as long as you're doing something original with it. Yeah. We're all human, We're not, robots or AI.
Yeah. Are you scared about the AI? Have you heard about all the AI things that are happening?
Of course. I mean, I just think it's a really interesting development. But at the end of the day, like, music is about humans connecting with humans. That's really all it's about. Right. And that's not really something that a robot can really do effectively.
I think that too. Yeah. And I think that about this thing about connecting, which I think it's gonna be great on the EDC. I think after the pandemic and all this stuff, doing that song that I suppose that when you're doing it on the studio, you have this thing on mind, but when you put it out and you hear the people singing this new single and all this stuff, that's also like for you like an amazing connection, right?
Oh, of course. I mean, again, the reaction is just been, It's been my dream to do this, and so it was really right before putting out the song and everything. I was quite nervous, because I knew the song was dope and I knew that it was great, but putting yourself out there artistically, especially this is a record that it isn't really like. It's new and it's fresh, and so you never really know.
And I think, and I think that nowadays, which is great. Well, not nowadays. I mean, this been since the internet, so it's been loads of years. But I think that what's amazing about internet and all that stuff is that you can connect with people, and especially electronic music. That sometimes, I mean, this one has lyrics, but sometimes people don't care about the lyrics. They care about the emotions. What you're like what you're transmitting. So I think it's great that it gets to other latitudes, other countries. Which countries has it caught your attention that I can't believe it got this far?
I mean, Mexico, of course. Dude, the amount that it's been streamed in Mexico has been crazy, But I've gotten so much support from Brazil too. Okay. In Germany. Okay. In the UK. All right. And just so many India. Okay. Shout out India. That's so many different places, and that's the beauty of the internet. And the beauty of social media is the fact that I'm just here, I'm just making content myself, I'm making music myself, and with songwriters that I love to work with, and we're making it here in California. Okay. And then I could just put it online, and people from everywhere,
they all make it
because it's music, and it's not bound by language.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though this is written in English, it's not bound by the feeling of the melody and the feeling of the rhythm and of the chords and everything.
I've been amazed during these times about how crazy it's went with K-pop, and I think, I mean, this has gone like crazy. I don't understand squat, but I mean, I like the music. You know, I mean, some songs.
You're gonna get a kick out of this. This was before social media.
Okay.
So my first real getting into the business, and this was, you know, as I talked about, this was like right after I was like, okay, I'm kind of doing this. Like, this is good. I was started to produce K-pop.
Really?
Yeah. So I actually was invited to live in Sweden. I lived in Sweden for nearly 5 months. And every single day I was just in the studio. And before then, I knew nothing about K-pop.
Right.
And by the end of it, I was starting to, you know, produce records and get cuts. And yeah, so that was like my first real thing. But I always wanted to become, you know, an artist.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that was always my goal. And so as soon as I started putting myself out there, you know, online, and then seeing that people really resonated with what I was doing, then that's when I stopped everything else and was like, okay, I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Well, you are. I mean, I liked it very much. I love the song. So I think it's gonna be. You are like a real good artist. So it's gonna be a blast on this EDC. So congratulations.
Yes,
I'm sure we're gonna enjoy it because with Mexicans, we've made this festival like really big because we're real big fans of music, of electronic music. So I'm sure you're gonna have a blast.
I heard the crowd here is so energetic.
You will feel it.
I heard it's wild.
You will feel it because they say that sometimes other countries are like really into music, but on a different level. Like, we like it so much. I mean, it's real cool. Oh, you can see it there, and you can like.
You know, some people like to, you know, act cool and just kind of groove and stuff. What I'm looking for, jumping up and down.
We'll just flip our brains out. Yeah. You will see it.
I'm excited. Tomorrow night, man.
Tomorrow night it's gonna be great. Ian, it's great to have you here at Oye 89.7. Good luck tomorrow, and thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, take care. Muy bien, pues para toda la banda de 89.7 FM, Ian Asher aquí en cabina.